If you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code ATNIGHT to get 5% off your order. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night, your weekly Vanguard podcast. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And I'm Deckflare / Gwen, whatever you want to call me.
I mean, you tell us what you want us to call you.
I guess Gwen is just easier.
Gwen? All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Deckflare is a VGtuber who you specialize in budget decks. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, being on our little, history collection tease kick still, and because we're recording this in advance of our usual recording time, so if something dropped on Tuesday, I'm sorry, but this is on Saturday, so sucks for you. We're talking about like a rough guide to budget deck building once the history collection comes out. And we know that there are reprints that are coming. We know that the eroded Strides and the eroded Heartham clones are coming for sure. We know that's happening. We have a list, but we don't have like the full list of everything that's getting reprinted yet. So we're not quite sure at this point in time. But we think it's good to like take a look at this as we start to look toward the summer months with the meta having this big shift.
Do we know if they're reprinting the Striders that go with the...
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I believe they said they were.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That is good.
I didn't remember that.
I don't think I remember them saying that, but I trust you, Repair. So, yeah. So, Gwen, you want to take it away, or?
Yeah. So, I was actually super interested on like the rates and stuff, so I did some math on it last night.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just assuming it's 30 boxes a case because that's how the festival collection is, and they come out at the same time.
Okay.
So I assume it's like 2 commons per pack, and then it's 3 cards per pack and 10 packs a box. So we'd get 20 commons, and then the triple rare, double rare split could be like 4 triples, 6 doubles, 3 triples, 7 doubles. And one like really bad thing I noticed was if you're a common in the set, then you're only going to get like 2 or 3 copies in a case.
Yeah.
And if you're a triple rare, if it's a 3-7 split, yeah, so if it's a 3-7 split, then triple rares we'd have 3 to 4, mostly 4 on most of them. And then double rares we'd get at least a play set.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it was 4 triples, 6 doubles, then we'd get almost 5 of each triple and then like 3.5 of each double. So it seems okay. I hope the Striders are doubles so we get more of them, so more people can like get in. But for like budget options, during the last revival collection, they reprinted 6 different ones, which was Gavrael, Gurgrit, Gaia, Rising Nova, Sharonui, and Sharhot.
Okay.
So those are like generally, I think, good options to start with.
Okay.
And then like any of the trial deck ones are still like not super expensive at the moment, but they could go up at any point.
Yeah, you have like several iterations of the Striders hanging around, and again, remember that not every clan is going to want to do this necessarily, and you might just pick up your Heartham clones and move on with your life.
But you will need those more than likely.
Yeah, definitely. Those are like any clan you're playing, get a play set of those. Those are.
So I guess we're really hoping that Heartham clones and Striders are the double Rs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
they just showed images of the old ones, so I don't know what rarity they are.
Yeah, we know the crits are the doubles, and then the Strides are triples.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good.
So we don't know what the second double is because each clan gets 2 doubles.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping it's the Striders and not like
Yeah.
not some random thing.
It could also be the VRs for every clan because they are reprinting those too.
Yeah.
Oh, they're reprinting like Maelstrom and stuff, or
Yeah, I assume they'll be triple Rs.
yeah.
Like,
One thing that does worry me about the set is the set being like 350 cards.
Yeah.
That bothers me too a little bit.
I was just like, what is this number?
Mhm.
What cards are they putting in here exactly?
And especially 3 cards per set. That is a
Yeah, 3 cards per pack.
Okay,
Pack,
so
sorry.
things they
Yeah.
said would be included are like, we're getting the Striders reprinted, we're getting like G guards, support cards, which is incredibly vague and I don't know what the heck that means, and then like grade 3 units, presumably from V, that aren't VRs, as well as ones that are. So they're just like, they're just kind of dumping literally everything on us, it feels like.
yeah.
Nice.
Which that would be fine if they had more cards per pack.
Yeah.
So cool. Thanks, guys. We'll just be over here hoping we pull the stuff we need. Now I'm hoping that this is popular enough to where enough people buy enough products because Bushiroad prints to order, I believe the term was.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Where like if shops order enough to begin with, they'll have more products, so it's not like short printed. So this might be a propaganda campaign by us, but whatever. So of that list, which one did you want to start with?
I think the like best one out of them is probably Gogorit.
Okay.
Which I actually haven't looked at Campbell price yet because all the old Striders are getting bought out too.
Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm. I found an old copy of Campbell when I looked it up. It was about $2.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, I don't, but that was like 2 weeks ago. I don't know if it's.
Oh yeah, it's still
since
50
then.
cents. We're good.
Okay,
We're
good.
on
All
Campbell.
right. Yeah,
I
down.
think people aren't really bothering with the strides because they have outdated text now.
Right.
Yeah, there's like a couple expensive ones. Like I think the Narukami one was like $9.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously? God damn.
I mean,
Zora.
Narukami can do the most
Yeah.
like shenanigans off of it, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Nova Grappler one, last I saw was $5. Yeah, it's still $5.
Victim.
So there's a couple going up, but most of them should be pretty cheap still.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Remember that you need to flip a copy of your thing to get your 2 gifts, so you got to get these 2 at a time, like you did back in the old days.
Yeah, but you don't need 4 because you can only do it once. So only 2 copies, which is fine.
Mhm.
But yeah, Gogomet seems pretty good with it. Because like if you end up getting like Percival and stuff, which is expensive, but then you can get like 3 Excel markers, and then you can ride the V Gogomet on your next turn, and then you'll have 4, and then if you have another Percival, then 5. So you can do some gross things like that.
That's what Richard from the original Nexus Core. He proxied this out when we played with it, and it's disgusting because as you may remember, you can do this when the opponent's on grade 2 and being able to go, all right, I get 2 Excel markers, draw 2 from Campbell. Campbell is now an end of battle, check top 5, call something, which is like that's good. That's a good on hit, right? So there's that, and then like he had Percival, so there's 3 Excel markers, and the rest of Gold Paladin's kit is just pretty solid. Like he didn't even need to like set up for the Ultima play. He was just like, all right, do this, you're dead. I'm like, great, awesome. And the only thing that really saved me was on game 2. I had a Heal Guardian and I took 2 Heart Thumps on damage and got enough cards to like get me through. And then I ended up winning that round. So I think the Heart Thumps and the Heal Guards are going to keep the format from getting too crazy.
Hopefully.
To going first, yeah. But it's not enough, I don't think. But it's like
I do think that like some of this is poorly designed in some aspects, where you have things like Gurgit that can take advantage of it. Narukami can do a lot of shenanigans where you're like, go into Stunverse goes back, and then now you can stride again into the Narukami one.
Yeah, go into Zoras. Zoras does his thing. Do what's it? Not rock climb. It's the grade 3.
Full Bronto.
Yeah,
No,
full-
yeah. To bind to get full
Oh,
Bronto during battle
Jaggy
phase.
shot.
Jaggy shot. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you do Jaggy shot into full Bronto, and then
Mhm.
end phase you ride back down to the original Vanquisher, which now when you G dart it gets 3k every time you do something, which makes that harder to play against. It's very good. Vanquisher gets his time in the sun after kind of being like the worst, the worst of the best.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I think a lot of decks are going to have different ways to play. Like some will do like for example, Alt Mile. You run just 2 copies of the old Alt Mile and your 4 aerial Alt Mile, and then use your Stride Fodders as searches, right? Or you go call this, reveal my heal guard, get the appropriate Alt Mile for what's happening, and then just be ready for turn 3.
Mhm.
So, not always the case. Yeah, Gurgate is probably a good way to do it. I don't know how cheap it is though.
Price wise, it's pretty good because original Gurgit did get reprinted in last revival, and we know how that set went. So that Gurgit should be like pretty cheap for a while,
Okay.
I would assume. One deck I'm excited about is Nova's, which is my main clan.
Mm.
Because since when like ride down meta, the deck just kind of sucks. Because we
Yeah.
have to get first stride, but we'll never get it. And our grade 3 turn is kind of whatever compared to what other decks can do.
I hope you get your Sazanda, right?
Yeah. So now we have like all of our GB effects, which is where all of our good cards are from, which is G era. We get all of them turn 3. So then we can do like Jerohawk and Golsachi, and then we have 2 Excel markers, so we can drop like double Sazanda on it.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, there's some gross things it can do if you high roll hard enough, but for the most part, it should just be like a consistent way to actually be able to play the game now.
Do you do like a 2-2 split, or do you run the old?
I'm doing. Last I tested, I did 1 of the old one and then 3 V1 because you still want to ride the V1 because he still gets your Excel marker, and also you get the top 7 search, which is really important for the deck. So I just run a 1-3 split, and then I do the old Arashid to search it when needed. Because if you go second, you don't want to do the Vic 10 play, because then you want to. Instead, you could just go busted and farm a bunch of cards that way.
Yeah. That's also something to consider for people who are afraid of this going second. Is that these strides, like, yeah, they get the extra gift, but most of these effects are just like, all right, call something. Or, you know, in Mega Colony's case, stun a front row and a back row. Like, it's not really super explosive. Like, a lot of strides are their design philosophy from the end of G era onward, where these first strides were supposed to, like, win you the game outright. And now we're going back to these, which are just like, all right, cool, extra Excel markers, but also +1.
And sometimes it's not even like it's like a fake +1. It's not even.
Yeah, that is another thing. Is like just how unbalanced the clan support has been over the years means some of these on hits are a lot better than others.
Although it means that like because like they were on hits before, the effect just wasn't guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
But it means now that like the effect is guaranteed unless you're Tachikaze. You kind of it's kind of much easier to like build a turn out of what exactly is happening instead of your opponent reading your cards and then replying appropriately.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm quite excited for the Murakuma one, just because you get to clone something twice at the end of battle, just because.
That thing. Well, first off, it just reminds me of the train from Yu-Gi-Oh! Dekoichi, right?
Dekoichi, yeah.
Dekoichi, yeah. It just looks like they did that. They'll like do that and like turn it up to 11. That's the card.
I mean, there's lots of the demon train it exists in a lot of things. I'm not really sure where it comes from originally, actually.
Ozzy
should probably
Osbourne
look
would be proud.
That is probably not it.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Like,
but can
okay,
you suplex the train?
no, you can't
Maybe.
suplex the train. Vic-10 maybe can. Like, here's an example of one that's probably not going to do much. Kiss Kill Lyra for DIs. So not only do they already have a great ride-up turn in just being able to go, all right, I'm going to ride NLK and then go into Barrel Magnus, or literally anything else, like if your deck behaves differently. Compared to, all right, I go into this, I get 2 protect markers, which is either half a force marker on each side, a force marker with plus shield, or 2 cards in hand. For soul charging 2 and drawing a card.
Which DI is already decently good at anyways.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You get to draw 3. What do you mean? That's so good.
I mean,
Yeah, the DI one is, and you have to play OG Sharhot too.
which was very. Yeah.
I would much rather be playing like any other Sharhot.
Yeah. See also our episode last week about Striders that would be cool if they could work with the History Collection ones. And I'm going back and looking at what it actually did because I don't think anyone actually played it at the time.
People did play it when it came out, but this one is like on stride, counterblast 1, soul charge 2. Your Vanguard gets on attack if the number of cards is 6 or more. Your opponent retires a rear guard.
Ugh. Boo.
Yeah, not great at the moment.
I don't think a lot of stuff, like a lot of decks, they're probably not using their stride skills all that much, are they? Yasuye and Gurgit notwithstanding. Oh wait, no, never mind.
The Geozone is kind of for some decks is just a table decoration.
Yeah.
Sometimes people use it.
See, I have 16 different sleeves, and they're all in different colors. Yeah.
One of the cool things I really like about like how the new strides work is that you do it in main phase.
Yeah.
So a lot of old cards like Asha, where you needed something on play or on the board in order to use, now you can like call something, then stride, and then you have something on board that you can call extra.
Yeah, it's and that the same is true for Yasuye as well, because like back in the old days, if your opponent just like cleared like whatever units you had laying around, you just couldn't use that stride skill. And like that was fixed with Trial because he could always target himself, but like, yeah, you'll be able to actually activate the stride skill from original Yasuye. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think Yasui seems like one of, if not the best one out of them. Because just getting 4 free units, 2 of which being mid-battle phase, is like pretty crazy. You have 1 Fright Sickle, you just call 2 out from Yasui, send them back, draw 2, attack with Train, call 2 more, draw 2 more.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's going off. Yeah, it's Yasuo was the first one I thought of that was like very, very enticing.
Let's see. A friend of mine bought Gabe from Nexus Core's collection. He's still out in the woods, but we have all of his Neo Nectar stuff that he collected from years and years of doing things on the channel. So he was trying to get it to work, and the problem I think he was doing is he was doing Force 1s off the ability, and like Neo Nectar's whole thing is stuff gets really, really big.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna go the Bloom route, Force 2 is probably just better.
I keep telling him he should do that, and he's like, no, it's too weird. I'm like, if everything is hitting for 2 damage, it's a little scary if they're at least 40k, you know?
Yeah. Like, I don't know why, if you're going the Bloom route, you wouldn't just go Force 2 when everything's already like 30, 40k anyways.
I think because I guess the Bloom route requires a little more setup. And then also he didn't know about the grade 2 that just becomes whatever, like when it calls, it takes the name of whatever it's being called as. So you just activate Bloom. It's a Bloom on everything when you call it. So Yeah, and Neo Nectar stands. If you have like knowledge about this, please. I feel like there's a big knowledge gap in Vanguard's history because you have like Gabe, our friend Alvin.
Neo
I
Nectar has
plays
fallen
Neo
off.
Nectar sometimes, but yeah, Neo Nectar is like not that
Neo
relevant.
Nectar really fell off after Katrina got banned because they
Mhm.
basically had nothing after that.
Yeah.
And so there was like no reason to even entertain the idea of playing
Neo Nectar is one of the victims of we don't know what to do with this clan right now.
Yeah, and then they like tried doing the plant token thing, and then they moved away from it. And then you have musketeers and maiden ofs pulling it in all these directions, and I just
like-
feel bad for them.
Musketeers was just Gold Paladin, and then they
Yeah.
made actual Gold Paladin. And then like I have no idea what Maiden of even does. Like the
It's a bunch
Ranunculus
of
and
on-hit
Bloom,
effects.
yeah, like Ranunculus and Bloom cards was just Murakumo. And
Yeah,
they
I think
clearly
so.
did not want to like keep doing that in V, so now they switched to like the token stuff. But like they still haven't really made any stride that really supports the token stuff besides Katrina.
Mm-hmm. I really think they could bring Katrina back without too much, too many problems.
I wonder.
Hmm.
They should do it. It'd be
I
fun.
don't know. My friend has all of Gabe's stuff, so we could always give it a try, see how crazy it is. And,
Yeah.
I think one idea I had for Neo Nectar, because I used to play Musketeers
mhm.
like in the middle of last year, and so you could put like Asha in there. So then when you go first, Cecilia Reverse needs your opponent to be grade 3 in order to superior ride.
Mhm.
So you could like have Asha in there to generate multiple force markers on your turn 3, and then on your next turn you can stride into Ladislava, have like another force marker from rewriting something. Then you have 3, and then you do like the usurp reverse plays and all that.
Yeah, I know. Oh, the one where you like call it mid battle phase after you rewrite. And then-
Yeah.
Yeah. That one is like it's a good idea, and I wish they would expand upon it, but I don't think they're gonna do that necessarily. Let's see. What else was on that list? You said Sharonui was on there?
Shiranui's on there from something that got reprinted in Revival.
Yeah.
It's weird because the on-hit stride just makes your opponent discard something.
Yeah,
Then
and the original
Shiranui.
Shiranui also just makes your opponent discard a card.
Yeah, so if they can find like a way to build like a really aggressive board, then it could be pretty scary, where you make the opponent have to guard a lot to survive, but then you also make them discard 2 cards. But I haven't played Nubatama in like 3 years, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I was
guess-
also looking at Nubatama, and I'm like, you probably have to go some sort of like discard route. Oh god, when was the last time they made the like Nubatama cards that made you like discard things? 'Cause I don't remember what. Because
Yeah.
V Nubatama was another clan of we don't know what to do with this.
Yeah. Which is a shame because I really liked Dominate as a concept, even though it was kind of a rulings nightmare. And the Domination token was kind of neat as like a way to,
No, that's
smooth
tokens.
that out. Because like they did that along with the decoy tokens, and they're like, all right, it's another token clan. And you're like,
Yeah, but also they had cards that discard cards.
yeah. So then what?
Like Jammy, but Jammy's banned.
Jammy was
That
real
was a card.
stupid.
That is a card that exists. Yeah, one of the cards
Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah, but there was also one of the like V collection cards that was like a grade 3 that made your opponent discard things. I'm trying to find it right now, and I cannot remember.
Oh, the bird?
No, it was Daihozan.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Like the one where when your opponent places a normal unit, if they have 4 or more cards, they have to discard. Oh, that was Clan Collection 2? That was so long ago.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's anything ninja or green, you're probably going to have an easy time picking this stuff up. The only reason, like, anytime Mega Colony's been good, it's had all eyeballs on it, and then it goes up for a little bit, and then they hit the parts, and then it goes back down again. And then I do think that's another one of the clans that's going to be in a good spot. The Dark Face being able to trip stuff as it comes in.
Yeah.
And it has a really good grade 2 game. So you do like your grade 2 game, it gets a bunch of soul, you go into Dark Face, you get 2 protect gifts, or if you want to do it on your board, I highly doubt it though. And then now you're like, okay, come and get me, rearguard dependent clan, and you're like, I call this tripped.
Yeah, I need Meg Colony to go away so I can play Spike Brothers in peace.
Yeah, like that. That's going to be a problem.
I'm just trying to play Spikes, and then there's these Mega Colony players out here saying no. I'm like, all right. At least there are less of them, slightly.
If a unit has like resist on it as it comes in, does it dodge the effect, or
does it choose, or does it say that unit?
I gotta look at the wording because
yeah.
When your opponent's unit is placed on rearguard, you may pay the cost if you do rest that unit. So I think it still hits resist.
Yeah, it should still hit resist.
That is really.
Although the other problem for Spikes is that Steam Maiden's just too good.
Oh, like it's so fast it won't even.
It can eat. So you know that grade 3 turn where you attack a bunch?
Yeah.
Steam Maiden just easily guards that.
Oh.
Oh god, yeah, Gear Chronicle's gonna be gross too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not looking forward to. That's like again, it's the weird love child of just years of Bushiroad being like, well, it's a main character clan, so we got to support it well, and it's the legacy of the main character clan, so we got to support it well, and then it becomes broken for 6 years at a time or whatever.
Yep.
Rootbeer, I hope when you finish your history of Vanguard, you like look at all of the things that were a problem and see like what was the deck what was the clan that was the most problem for the most amount of time.
We'll see.
Rising Nova, that was on the list somewhere.
Yeah, he got reprinted. So I haven't looked too deep into it. I just like remember playing Spikes during G era, and that was like some of the most fun Vanguard's been.
So good.
There was so many lines, but the funny thing with it is that the on-hit stride has Bruce in its name, so you can use like standard cards with Bruce, or that need Bruce, like Julian. You can use. So yeah, I'm not sure how the deck will look, but it seems like it will go back to like being a high roll deck that it was back in G era, potentially.
Yeah, I still think it's kind of that way, but that's just because of like how Spikes is built together. But because like the original, like the V Rising gives you 2 gifts, I wonder if it's going to be worth it to play the other one. Like it's not necessarily better than that into copying 2 grade 3s and calling it a day.
Yeah, current Spikes just seem better than what that can do.
Yeah, so I kind of wrote it off pretty early, but there could be something I'm missing there with the Bruce stuff. I haven't really looked into using standard cards in premium very often, especially Spikes. But it'd be interesting if there's something not quite there yet, there could be something in the future.
And I'm sure Living Proof will be on top of it.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for his vid. There's also Gaia, which at first I was like, oh, you can like build a full field with Regiodon and Blue Sprint, but then I didn't realize that a lot of the G stuff needed like an Engorge Vanguard.
Yeah. I was looking at that as well.
I'm hoping they like errata Arc Raider to where it has Engorge, but that probably won't happen. Just so they can like use some of the old stuff again.
Yeah, if they're thinking about how they redesign cards, then I think it would be necessary to kind of change Art Trader a little bit, but they could just be kind of doing blanket erratas and then not actually like considering case by case, which means that it's going to be less than ideal.
Yeah.
I really hope so. Or like, I know some cards are like, if this was retired by the Engorge ability, so you can kind of get around it with like rear guards with Engorge, but then you lose the possibility of Mega Rex. It's hard. I found my old copies of Paris Launcher, the Heartham clone, so I'm good at that. But for regular Gaia, I just missed that stride skill so much. It was so good.
It's incredible. Still one of my favorite stride skills to this day.
Yeah. Call up to 2 things. Pick up to 2 rear guards. Give them when they die. Come back. It's just so nice and simple and flexible. And yet here we are.
And you get to call things.
Yeah.
Instead of just like,
have them have to be on board and then do it.
God.
Yeah. I think I remember when that came out, people were like, why didn't they just do this with Asha and Yasuye to begin with?
We know why.
We don't know why, because Yasuye or Asha was like a main character clan, and they're just like, man, fuck you. I know for the later iterations of it, they're like, all right, end phase, you can call something from hand, or the blue one, it was just like, all right, put something back in deck, call something with bloom from deck. Like it was easier that way to do that.
The last deck was Gaia that got reprinted in Revival. And that seems super interesting. I haven't played Angels, so I don't know like what they can do, but getting Broken Heart on turn 3 seems pretty solid.
I guess for newer Vanguard players, Broken Heart was agreed to that anytime a card was put in your damage zone, her and your Vanguard got plus 2k. So that would stack with Gavriel's effect, which was anytime a card is put in the damage zone. Is it your front row or just her that gets 2k?
I think it's her and your Vanguard.
No, not Broken Heart.
Gavriel is front row, yeah.
Okay, so your front row gets 2k. So that would be every time you swap something out of damage, every time you rescue checked, everything was 4k to the front row, 4k to the... So like you would then be going like being like a 27k body, which is really easy to guard, guys.
Yeah.
It was kind of off to the races from there. I think it mostly sort of found its feet toward the end of Jira as a Gize vehicle, because you could be like, all right, I'm just going to do a bunch of rescue checks over and over.
I think there was a point, like, in between No CL's relevance and the fridge getting banned. I can't remember his name right now, where, like, Gavriel was also playable alongside that.
Oh, yeah, there was the 12 stand or 9 stand after Reppers got limited.
Yeah.
And then you would, or however many stands, and then you would just you would just do a million rescue checks and burn through your deck.
Yeah, and kill them. And now, like, Angel Feather also has a it's the stride that's the purple hair one, where it's like, all right, you can't lose until you're at 7 or 8. And then every time your opponent guards from hand, it has to be the number of cards in your damage zone for Counterblast 4. So then you're going like, all right, this is a quintuple door still that I'm swinging for. You're like, oh, cool, I'm dead. Like that thing shreds hands. Good lord. I know for our Vita Premium transition, we had we mostly did no seal because that was like an easier transition. But I feel like Gavriel might be like an easy thing to pick up and just do that, because purple hair just like is a really good finisher. All right, it's 3 attacks, but I took 15 cards out of your hand. You got them? No, you're dead? Cool. All right.
You just need to not die up till that point.
Yeah, which to their credit, Angel Feather is kind of good at.
Yeah, especially if you have, GB2 active and Broken Heart active immediately.
Which I think Broken Heart got reprinted also, right?
I think so.
I would assume it's going to be around, but it might be really low pull rates if it is reprinted, due to probably being a common.
Right. Even if it is that, like, it was a common back in the day.
True.
I don't know how much that's going to influence people going through their commons and being like, all right, $6 for a broken
We also
heart.
don't know what the support cards that are going to be reprinted are.
Mhm.
Yeah, so other decks, I was thinking like a lot of the old trial deck stuff should be pretty okay
Mhm.
to get.
Yeah.
Uh,
Although Sharonui is already like $4 or $5, and the original one, the original one was a triple R. It was a different one. That was a TD.
It was the
Yeah.
Dominate one. That was
Yeah.
a TD one.
I had forgotten about that, actually.
Mhm.
I thought it was the reverse.
Where the original one was TD and the Dominate was in.
Well, because there were 3 versions of Sharonui.
Yeah.
One was, I know the original one was a triple R. And then I think Obero was the TD, and then Zonki was in set 14.
Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
I thought the original Victor was a TD card, but that was just a triple R.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
very annoying because I don't have that one.
So I think like the big like plus for this is that it's an easy transition for standard players to come in, since Chronojet and Messiah are gonna be like pretty damn good with these.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like Messiah having like Volcago, Dunamis while your opponent's grade 2, and you have 2 Force 2 markers in play just seems really disgusting.
Yeah.
It definitely does. Plus, now you can lock the opponent's board again, because I know for standard they tried real hard to not do that.
Yeah.
But you can't do that in standard because they just get bound.
Right. So in premium, like that's what I'm saying. You can lock them and like leave them locked.
Yeah.
Without the crest. So yeah, that's gonna get real crazy real fast. Once again, pointing to a Yellow Card TCG's video where they go over, I think Victor, Messiah, Chronojet, and I forgot the fourth one, but
I think Vanquisher? Yeah.
Yeah, Vanquisher. You're right. So I think we linked that off in a previous episode, but just look up Yellow Card TCG and it's like the fourth video down or something. But yeah, those are going to be real crazy. I feel bad for like trying to get all the Messiah pieces, because I had like a V Messiah deck that I tried to make into premium before this all got revealed, by the way. So this was like the V alter ego and stuff. And like Sacrifice and Dynamis Messiah were like $2 to $4 a piece.
That's not that bad.
I know, just kind of annoying that you're like, ugh.
More like all the Messiah strides being like $20 for no reason.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. Luckily, at least Alter Ego, no, not Alter Ego, Amnesty Messiah that comes in the deck set is the better one because it flips instead of just being.
Yeah.
So
but also, like, people were scalping the deck set cards real hard early on.
I'm lucky I put my pre-order in with my shop, and
yeah, same.
Yeah.
But also, like, apparently there were distribution issues again.
Oh,
like, especially in Europe, where apparently they just didn't get them.
Like at all? But sure, you're killing us. This is annoying.
Yeah, like a bunch of shops just like didn't get their Chronojet sets on time. Like I remember like someone was posting about like, you know, third-party tournament stuff, and they just like couldn't let the Chronojet set be legal because Europe didn't get enough of them.
So wait, that means the meta's more balanced. Yay!
Yeah.
What do you mean? No, now you need.
No, this is just for like third-party stuff.
I know.
Yeah,
getting around.
You got to contest Ava. Ava's still good after Chronojet, though.
Really?
Yeah,
that's good.
Eva is still just like one of the best decks, like right now.
It's incredibly strong, and will continue to be incredibly strong, probably. Although I think so will Chronojet. So.
Yeah, Chronojet is going to last a while, especially because we're like several months behind the Japanese meta.
I think
we already know what's coming up.
I think Gwen has a video on all this.
Welstra competes decently against it.
Yeah, I've been testing Welstra a lot. It feels so insane, but it's really difficult to pilot like well. Like it feels like a premium deck to me because you just are able to like search for all your pieces constantly. You minus and blow up the opponent's board every turn. And then you have like big Vanguard swing and then have like 23k rearguard swings while they're at like 3k power.
Oh my god, you're killing me, man.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's really good.
So, this all being the case and us like having tasked you for that, like what how do you feel about the history collection, like paradigm shift, and how that's going to affect budget deck building, in your opinion?
I think it might affect some of them because like there are some VRs that like aren't really bought, but they're just expensive because there's none on the market. So like original VR Maelstrom, I think is the case there.
Yeah.
And then some it probably won't affect at all. So like probably VX. Because I think that's the only VR confirmed reprinted so far.
Yeah, that's like the teaser they gave us or something.
Yeah. I think that one's probably not going to do too much because Overlord's just a popular deck. So I think it just helps like make the rogue or less popular decks be cheaper, but like decks that are like meta usually or fan favorites are still going to be roughly the same amount.
Yeah, like
I agree with that.
It just really depends how much of the set gets bought because I doubt a lot of shops are going to get a lot of this because of what happened last Survival.
And you know, a lot of people have been talking about like the pricing of Vanguard recently, especially in light of how bad it is standard. But like, I do think the people acting like premium is the most accessible format are like misrepresenting it a bit, especially at like the higher levels of the game. Like a lot of cards are just a lot of strides are just randomly like $20 or more. Geoma Glass.
Yeah, I think there are decks that are like still incredibly cheap in premium though. Like
there are.
Pike Brothers is $100 premium deck.
Like up and down everything, you got everything.
Like basically everything's like $100 or maybe slightly more, but it's incredibly cheap.
And it won Anaheim. Didn't get top 8. It won.
And the deck can just kill you. Like
So
I think premium has some very, very cheap accessible decks. Obviously, not every deck's going to be that way. There are some decks that are going to be quite expensive, but on the whole, I think that premium has some incredibly cheap options, which is really what about being accessible is that you have options for people who want us, kind of at different price points.
Right.
I think premium does have that. I mean, V does as well, but there's kind of like one deck to be playing.
It's Steam Maiden.
Like V as a format just doesn't feel very good. And then D needs to be more accessible because it's their main format, and they've done a terrible job of it.
Yeah.
I know, it's kind of infuriating, to be honest. Where they seem to have made the same mistake, 3 times now?
Yes. Just every time. It's even more frustrating seeing people post about Korean Vanguard and they just like fix all of the problems.
Yeah, they're like putting promos in the sets.
Like,
I wish
hey, like, can we have that? Can you do that for us?
I hate chasing down promos so much.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's been my issue with Japanese card games virtually forever, and nothing has changed.
Another problem is like I know this sounds like completely out of nowhere, but trying to look up when a certain promo came out is the worst thing in the world. You go on the Wikia and it's just like, oh, here's every promo card ever on one page.
Yeah.
Versus a set, you can be like, this set dropped March 23rd, 2017. You're like, great, awesome. You know exactly when that came out versus like a certain promo that you may not have heard of, and you're like, all right, it could have been yesterday, it could have been 6 years ago. Good luck. Like,
Incredible.
Yeah, I remember one time. So people in Southern California might know of a place called Frankenstein's, which is basically like a swap meet for nerds. I don't know how to make it any simpler. And I was there one time looking for stuff, and I saw one of the vendors. He had a literal, like, he did, you know when you kind of like use one card to turn the entire fanned out pile upside down, it goes, and it's perfect. He did that with the Ava promo when I was there last time, and I was like, motherfucker, like my head almost exploded.
Big move.
Yeah.
How do you have so many in one place? And he's like, you just put in for the, the like to be a shop, and then you open all the packs yourself and you sell it. I'm like, great, awesome.
Well, apparently not like most shops aren't getting them themselves.
Yeah.
Which is like the main issue, because I need to get Drag Rid of Halb still, and last I checked, there's like an $80 promo that's constantly out of stock on TCG.
Yeah, like I need Broken Toys for Tamayura, and that's like a $60 promo because none of the shops got it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
God.
It's like only people in Singapore got it.
Well, because it's right over there.
Yeah,
for Bushra, Japan. The U.S. you got to go all the way across the Pacific. It's not worth it. God. All right. Well, nice to know that there's like some bright spots on like what to do when the hammer drops, and other spots like everything Bushra does wrong. So like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Not for real. Gwen, thank you so much for coming on Nexus at Night with us. Where can people find and follow you?
So on YouTube, it's just Deckflare, all one word. I learned recently that my initials is DF, which is the same as Different Fight, which was not intentional.
Oh no,
but
that's okay.
And then on Twitter, my @ is Deckflare also, but you'll see like the name Gwen on there, which it used to be something a little more inappropriate, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Could be.
And then I usually hang out on Outer Orange's Discord the most out of all the Vanguard Discords.
Okay.
So you probably see me on there, but yeah.
Right on. You can find us at Nexus at Night on Twitter, Instagram, or if you want to help the show at patreon.com/Nexus at Night. Thanks to Darren, Cole, Josh, Jeremy, GR, and Ali for being $10 patrons. How about the rest of us?
You can find me on Twitter at Wiggums, 2Gs, 2Zs.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
Find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, or follow my other podcast at Generation Dan on Twitter, Generation_Dan on Instagram, or just go look up the podcast. And thanks everybody for watching. And until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
I'm Gwen.
And have a good night, everybody.